This American-made cartoon is better than 99.9% of Japanese anime, and that is coming from a lifelong proud weeb. Me. The animated series I'm talking about is none other than the Emmy Award-winning series Blue Eye Samurai. And yes, it's better than most anime because it does some major things differently with its direction and storytelling. Specifically, 3 major things that you will definitely recognize if you're an anime fan. And I'll tell you exactly what they are. But first, what exactly is this not safe for work animated series about? And why has it taken me an entire year to talk about it? Let's get right into the video. Blue Eye Samurai is best described as Shogun meets Arcane. That is my elevator pitch for this show, but it is its own thing. And personally, I'd put it above both of these shows. Maybe not Arcane, we have to see how season 2 ends. In Blue Eye Samurai, we follow a young half-caste lass, Mizu, and there's something absolutely f***ed up with her eyes. They're blue. And that is no bueno in 1650s Japan. Or should I say, dameda in Nihon. Anyways, Mizu is outcasted by every lad in Japan as she faces discrimination, racism, sexism, and all of those other triggering words. She eventually stumbles upon a blind blacksmith who neither knows that she is a she, let alone the colors of her irises. She absolutely struck gold with that one. Mizu apprentices under the wise blind fella who teaches her the way of the sword. Now that Mizu is skilled in the way of the warrior, she sets out on a path of revenge. Revenge on the man who conceived her. The man who I think also wanted to kill her, I can't remember. A blue-eyed man. And there's about 4 or 5 of them that are potential candidates. Now that is the short and sweet synopsis of Blue Eyed Samurai. Kinda sounds like your typical revenge plot that you'd find in any anime, right? Wrong. Here's where Blue Eye Samurai differs from some of my favorite anime. And I found it to be very refreshing. Like a nice bottle of miso on a hot Natsu day. I'll edit that line out. Blue Eye Samurai doesn't try to remind you that it's an animated show. I know that sounds stupid to say, but what I mean by that is that it doesn't fall into any anime cliches. For example, Death Note, one of my all-time favorite anime. People don't like it as much nowadays, but they're stupid idiots. It's quite a dark, mature series that is not like your typical shonen anime. It's my go-to anime that I recommend people to start on, to show them that not all anime is Dragon Ball Z and tits. But even in Death Note, you're still going to see little glimpses of your typical anime cliches, where scenes kind of go over the top, and they also have their trademark anime gags. Elements that seem pretty unnecessary for a series about murder-suicides. Those moments remind you that this is anime. And obviously, that isn't a bad thing all the time. I mean, just look at Madoka Magica. That is the most anime-looking anime you'd ever see. And it uses its look and style to subvert expectations of its story. Genius. But there's so many brilliant anime out there that are burdened with these anime cliches. From dragging out episodes, to super unrealistic characters, to ass-pull fairy tale bullshit power-ups. There's a time and place for all of that. Shows like Fairy Tail, to be honest. There's no kawaii in Blue Eye Samurai. However, I am lying. Blue Eye Samurai does actually remind the viewer that it is heavily anime influenced, only to make it more epic. And that is specifically with its action scenes. Some of the action sequences are so over the top and sick as f***, it would be impossible to reproduce them in a live action format. As an animation, it really enhances the entire show. That's the only time that Blue Eye Samurai yells in your face, "This is why we went with animation." And this leads me to my next major point. Blue Eye Samurai blends Japanese influence and American influence perfectly. This series was created by wife and husband team Amber Noizumi and Michael Green. Amber Noizumi being, I believe, half Japanese, half American. Clearly her experiences being mixed race helped conceive this series, not only in story and character, but also in style and direction. Clearly we can see the Japanese influence in this series, not just from the setting and story, but especially in Mizu's battles, reminding me of old classic anime films like Ninja Scroll. I watched that when I was like 12. I need to speak to my mum. But we also have homages to Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, from the soundtrack to straight up scenes getting recreated. And as soon as that Kill Bill song started playing, I knew this series was gonna be something special. And this is where we get a little bit of influenceception going on. Because Kill Bill was originally inspired by the 1973 Japanese film Lady Snowblood. A bit of a chicken egg situation going on. But I digress. My point being is that this is a perfect blend of creative ideas and culture. And it makes sense thematically dramatically considering our mixed race protagonist. Amazing. We never see it lean too much in one direction. The mix of these influences has got to be my favorite aspect of Blue Eye Samurai. But here's where we get a little bit raunchy. One of the reasons why this series is better than your typical anime. Blue Eye Samurai is clearly a not safe for work animated series. Like literally one of the most adult animated series I have ever seen. And it's actually the reason why I held off from watching this series for so long. Not because I'm a f***ing prude or anything like that, but because story time. I was traveling on an aeroplane to some country, I forgot which, and it was a long flight, so I thought let's download a fun, easy to watch show that will get me through this. Oh, Blue Eye Samurai is trending on Netflix. Let's watch a cartoon next to some random strangers who can clearly see my screen covered with everywhere. Oh my god. And so I thought I needed to be a little bit more mentally prepared to watch a show with those types of features. So I paused the Netflix app and I just forgot about it. That's the whole story. But damn am I glad I finished. The show, that is. But back to my point. Yes, there is a lot of nudity and some really weird shit happening in this series, and let me tell you, you will definitely be surprised. However, the series is still void of fan service. I am not a big fan of fan service, a feature that seems to be prominent in a lot of anime. And I guess Marvel movies, but that's a sort of different fan service. And if you don't know what fan service is, here's an AI definition. Fan service is the addition of content to a work of fiction to appeal to the audience, often in a or risque way. The term is said to have originated in Japanese anime and manga fandoms, where content is added based on fan feedback. I think we can all agree that we've seen most anime having some sort of fan service, and it can be pretty off-putting at times depending on the show. Again, if I'm watching some sort of shonen battle manga, you're kidding yourself if you don't think there's going to be some sort of weird scene sexualizing a character within the opening of the first episode. And that is totally fine. But it is damn refreshing that it doesn't happen in a dark, female-centered story like Blue Eye Samurai. It would only take away from the seriousness of Mizu's story. I have seen too many anime that throw in random moments of fan service at inappropriate times that completely change the tone of a scene. It's a bit weird sometimes, let's be honest. When there's a moment of nudity in Blue Eye Samurai, it adds to the authenticity of the setting and to the characters. This was a time and place where weird shit and raunchy encounters would be happening consistently. And for the most part, the nudity in Blue Eye Samurai is hilarious. They have some wild, butt-naked scenes that will make you die laughing. One scene in particular had me very surprised with what they were animating. There may be one instance of an NSFW fan service moment that could be argued, but it was still, I think, important to the story and character, so I don't think it counts as fan service. If you know what scene I'm talking about and disagree, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Helps the video as well. Also like and subscribe, that's pretty cool. I think it's obvious what scene I'm talking about, but maybe not. Anyways, to round up my reasonings on why Blue Eye Samurai is better than 99.9% of anime is 1. No anime cliches. Number 2. A perfect mix of Japanese and American influence. Number 3. No fan service. And yes, obviously my title's a little bit hyperbolic. This video was just my way of saying, damn, Blue Eye Samurai was dope. And if you're an anime fan, you need to watch Blue Eyed Samurai. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.